In today's video, I'm going to show you a lure that every flathead fisherman needs in their tackle box. Oh, yep, whatever it is, it's decent. Oh, come on, stay hooked. Oh, I think it's just a little flathead that just belted it. Geez, the flathead in here are just nuts. They are absolutely smashing these lures far out. That's just crazy how hard that fish hit. And it's probably barely a legal fish really, but man, even the little fish in here absolutely smashing it. Oh, I just can't believe how hard they're hitting. One thing about selecting fishing lures is it's not really about having a favorite lure or the best lure or the lure that catches everything. It's really about having a tackle box full of options. Your lures are just tools that you can apply and use in different situations for different fish. And really having a big complete tackle box is about having options. What I'm using right now is kind of a funny lure. It kind of looks like a squid jig. It's a prawn imitation, and it can be flicked or jerked kind of like you would think when you look at this lure, but it can also be slow trolled or rolled or sort of roll and stop, and it actually swims like a swim bait or a bibbed minnow. It's really unique in the way that this lure works. I'll see if I can get another one for you on camera, because yeah, I really want to just demonstrate how good this lure is. Oh, yep, there we go. All right. Oh, look, it's going nuts. What is it? Oh boy, well, I'm glad I could get one to show you. Yeah, this is the perfect lure for this situation. Just glad I could get it, could demonstrate it for you. I'm not sure what it is here. It's going nuts. This is an area that's known for flathead and tailor, and I'm guessing it's going to be one of those. It's fighting kind of weird, so I don't know if it's foul hooked or if it's just a really big fish that hasn't woken up yet. It's got a fair bit of weight to it, whatever it is. What is it? Oh, it's a good flatty. It's a mega flatty. All right, far out. That is a really nice fish. That's a good fish. That is a very, very good fish. Oh boy. All right, well, holy moly. Oh wow, that's a beauty. That's an absolute ripper. Wow. Well, well, yeah. So yeah, this is one that definitely, if you're a flathead fisherman, this one needs to be in your tackle box for sure. All right, beauty. All right, now I'm gonna give this one a measure. I would have thought it's gotta be, I don't know, 50, 60, somewhere in there. Let's have a look at her. It's a good fish. Now I'm just using a glove. I've already wet the area where I'm gonna measure the fish, and I'm just using a glove because I don't want to tear this fish up. Oh, it's a beautiful fish. Almost certainly it's a female dusky. What do we got? Yeah, 54 centimeters. That is a really nice fish. Well, I'm glad I was able to get that fish and just show you how well this lure works. Now I'm going to show you exactly how I work it. All you want to do is cast it out, up into the shallows, cast a bloody mile, take up the slack, and then you just want to turn the reel over until you can see your rod tip bouncing. That means it's swimming. And then you want to just give it a pause, turn it until you see the rod tip bouncing, give it a pause. The key is to get the speed of your retrieve right. That gets the lure swimming. Too slow or too fast and it won't swim properly, or it won't swim at all. Once again, just turn that over. Once you see the rod tip bouncing, that means it's swimming. Pause, let it sink a bit depending on how shallow you are, how deep you are. If you're deeper, give it a few seconds to get to the bottom. If you're shallow, it'll get there a little bit quicker. Give it that pause, take up the slack, get that rod tip bouncing. And that's pretty well it. Now I'm fishing a high tide right now. The water's come up onto the sand flats. The flathead have moved up into the flats to eat the bait fish and prawns and things that live in there. And all I'm doing is drifting my boat or using the electric motor to keep me right sort of at the edge of the really flat area so I'm not getting the boat stuck. And then I'm just casting up into the flats and then just bringing it back. But you could easily fish this land-based. In fact, it probably would be better to fish it land-based, in which case you just walk where the remaining sandbar is and just cast out into the shallows and just work your way around. Actually, sand flat fishing is a lot more fun, I think, just walking the shallows rather than fishing from a boat. It's just nice to be in the water and have the sand between your toes, and it's probably the way I prefer to fish, actually. And a little bit earlier I did pull the boat up onto the shore and fish that way for a little bit, but I'm just about to head in with the sun setting, and so I was just going to drift this last bit and sort of show you how to work this lure. The thing that's so good, it's just so great about this lure, is it's got a fair bit of weight to it. And so you can cast it an absolute mile. And right now I'm on sort of in the boat on a shallow sand flat where I'm at is only about a meter deep. And it just slowly gets shallower and shallower until it gets up onto the sandbar there. But it's such a great distance that I want to cover in this sand flat that I need something that I can really cast a long way. But by the same token, if I'm using like a soft plastic, oh, that was another hit. If I'm using a soft plastic with a heavy jig head and I cast it that far in the shallow water, it's just going to be dragging on the bottom the whole time. I'm not really going to be able to get that swimming action that I want, and the lure is not going to be working the way that I'd like it to. This sort of depth of water, I really need to be at 1/8 ounce jig head or less to really work the water properly. Otherwise, like I said, a heavier jig head, which will allow me to cast all the way sort of the shoreline where I want to be, it's just going to be dragging along the bottom. But this thing, this lure, it weighs a lot, but it's a slow sinker. So it allows me to cast all the way up to that sandbank, not even with much effort. I mean, that thing just goes a mile. And then I can just do a slow roll back to me, and it's just sort of swimming in that sort of 1 meter to ½ meter of water the whole way. It's, oh my goodness, missed a few because I'm talking. But yeah, it's really quite a remarkable lure, and it's something I've never had in my tackle box before, and I've just added it, and I've just come across this very specific situation, going through figuring out what I can use, and I thought, I'll give this a go. So I didn't really have anything else with me that was going to work well for this, but geez, it's really a great lure for this situation. Just a slow roll in is all you need. And even though it doesn't have a bid, just the way it's shaped, it just swims back and forth. It's really quite an interesting design. I genuinely have never owned or used a lure quite like this one before. Oh, there, oh! Oh, bugger, he belted it too. Oh, it's interesting. I don't know what it is about this lure, but when the fish hit it, they absolutely belted. Oh, wow, that is bizarre. Somehow I just ended up with two tiny, tiny fish. One of them just came off on the hooks. I reckon they were in the mouth of whatever bit. I reckon they were in the mouth of whatever bit this lure.